What is going on, everyone? How are you all doing tonight? CLP getting us started with all those emotes in chat. Jacob J12 as well. Love to see it. Love to see it. How is everyone doing tonight? All 27 of you here. What is going on? Boot and cat. Oh, boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Love it, Hawkward. Love it, love it, love it. How you doing, Maddie Rays? What is going up? Good. What is going up? What is going on? Hey, Burt Racing. Good morning to you. Yeah, it is a beautiful strut from a beautiful horse. We'll be talking about this horse a little later tonight. Having a little story time. What is up, Top Run Stables? Local boy, how are you all doing? Happy Monday night, everyone. As you know, we're taking a little break from Zero to Hero. Sean and I get working on Season 2, which is super excited for. Cannot wait to get back to it. So I'll be doing a solo show for a few weeks tonight. Yeah, talking about some horses, talking about some news. Let's go. Let's get it. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Before we get started, though, wanted to give you guys a heads up. I will be streaming on YouTube coming soon. I'll still be on Twitch. That'll be my main. All my main streams will be on Twitch. However, my YouTube channel will be having videos, things like tutorials, how to best use my tool, things like that. So, just as a heads up, I will drop that link right here in chat for you all. Highly recommend you subscribe, especially if you're a newer stable looking to better understand how to use my tool, how to use my site in general, and that tool being Zetalytics. So definitely give that a subscribe. We will be doing giveaway later tonight. Important for the giveaway that you be in the Twitch chat, though. So I know I'm having you kind of bounce all over the place, but much, much, much appreciated. First time to stream and new to Zed. Let's go, Tree's Trunk. One Shot Paddle, Mr. Mar, what's going on? Queen Bee, the ASMR. Reed, love the Sean vs. Tommy's. What's going on, Coliseum? I'm doing well, pretty well, Herbie Herb. All right, so let's get into it. Starting off by previewing tonight's giveaway. So tonight I will be giving away an unnamed, unraced horse. It is a Z22 exclusive Buterin filly. So if you breed this with a Genesis male, you'll still maintain that exclusive breed type. Color is burnt umber, which is a common color. So pretty excited about this. This giveaway is courtesy of Lady Luck Stables through someone called Josh Nicholas. So go ahead and give them, I'm going to hit them with a follow as a thank you. I'm going to throw their Twitter in chat if you could show them some love. They are the reason that we have this giveaway tonight. So pretty awesome. If you could go show Josh Nicholas some support over on Twitter. Worka, how you doing? Yes, Lady Luck. Lady Luck, Josh Nicholas, I guess, won a horse in a Lady Luck competition, bred this horse as an offspring, then gave it back to Lady Luck for a giveaway. Lady Luck Racing was kind enough to donate that horse to me tonight for the stream. So super pumped about that. Happy to be able to give a horse away to one of you. I hope it's someone new, but if it's not, that's okay. Tree Trunk, I'm looking at you. So yes, here we can get into a little bit more about the horse and its lineage a little later tonight, but let's go ahead and dive right into some news quick. Roy's Boys, how you doing? Good morning. So as I'm sure most of you know, there was recently the Nascar update. And that launch for the NASCAR Z Pass, that launch went a little rougher than planned or was hoped. So I heard. I was not a part of it directly, but I heard from plenty of people the issue with being able to get the pass. They started at 0.16, just as an FYI for those of you that are looking to purchase now and want to kind of gauge where that is at. If you know that last Thursday I threw out some tinfoil hat theories and thoughts around just the whole NASCAR experience. Was the track going to be curved? Was it going to be wet? It does not appear that either of those things are true. It is a straight track. I believe it appears to be the sunny weather as well. However, it does tilt. I don't know if that does anything. I'd like to think it's just cosmetic, because to have that disadvantage for half or part of the horses wouldn't quite be fair. So it's a cool like kind of cosmetic trick. They've got like this mechanic noise that happens. I saw a race earlier today with it. It looked pretty cool. I have yet to actually be able to race in on this track. Unfortunately, it makes me very very sad. It is harder to get into one of these races, in my opinion, than getting into a free race. So I don't know if this was because of the hiccup with everything or what. They say it was due to a reschedule of the actual race itself. They added 100 more Z passes. Now, this kind of ties into a bigger theme that I want to talk about in this news part. Um, and that is just the communication and some frustrations around that. So, I find myself reading and going through some of these Z updates and asking myself, why, how, when, where, what. So here they say they'll be giving away an extra 100 Z passes. Does that mean that there's now 1100, or does that mean there's now 800 to purchase and 200 will be given away? There's just, I think, a lot of ambiguity around Zed's communication in general. And I get on some level they want to drive discovery, which I think is fantastic. Um, but I think some things need to be made a little more clear. Um, Thank you so much for the subscribe from YouTube, Jordan Valentine. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's kind of where I'm at. For those of you that don't know, it's kind of speaking to that communication, that ambiguity. The Z Pass itself, and they did not update this, so this still says 1,000, um, which adds to my uncertainty. It very well could be 1,100, and I mean it looks sweet. But the other thing around the Z Pass is what is the utility that's going to come with it? Because if we talk about the current state of the secondary market, yeah, Solid for Life, we're going right into that right now. Um, Looking at the current price, and I'll refresh this. Was that 3-1? Okay, so it's been right around 319 ish for a few hours now. And looking, so it was on release, it was a mint price of 0.16. We're now averaging 0.2319, and the current price, if you would want to purchase one on the secondary market, is 0.3196. Now, the question is, I get that's the current market value set by just the community. But my question is, I don't have one of these yet. I'm trying to get one. I have a kind of a cutoff point in my head of, okay, this is where I think the value is going to be. And this is where I think it's a little too much. Here's some things that are kind of playing in my head around this, and we'll get back into some new tinfoil hat theories. Of all the people in Zed, why are there only 1,000 or at most 1,100 of these? That is a very, very, very limited supply. So when you have that limited of a supply with so many people in Zed, and maybe the amount of people is less than I think. Maybe it's just the number of stables is so high, which is another thing to talk about. But to me, that says there's going to be some big value that comes out of this with such a limited supply. However, HeroCraft, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, a handful of you are in, as a side note, in on work or finishing up lunch. I appreciate you being in here. That means a lot. So when you only have 1,000 of these things, to me that says there's going to be some pretty big value, because to me that seems pretty rare within the Zed space. However, dropping it at 0.16 plus gas seems a little low. Top Run makes a good point here, that it's the first edition, tells that there may be more passes later, Series 2, Series 3. That's a great point. Tinfoil hat time. Is that going to be other sponsors? Is there going to be a Season 2 for NASCAR? What does that look like? Are these prizes going to be horse skins, horses themselves, entries into tournaments. Like each one of those things has a very, very different value. The horse coat, unknown value, but given the premium that's being paid for some of these other horses, looking at the partnership with Atari, Stella Artois, that's a pretty hefty premium. And if that's true, this would be a steal at point 0.3 even, I would think. Not financial advice, just my thoughts given the previous history on how those horses have sold. If it's just entry into things, cool. If it's Decentraland merch, eh. I want Z specific utility. I have no idea what we're gonna get out of this. I have no idea what that's going to look like. But I'd imagine it would be a few things. Um, they say access to future NASCAR branded initiatives. I would think that would be special races or maybe even tournaments. Special airdrops, plural. So I see some value there. And entry to exclusive events. I find it kind of weird, tinfoil hat time, that they're saying extra events along with branded initiatives. Like that one of those very clearly says events, to me says tournaments. I could be wrong. Tinfoil hat. I have no idea. I'm basing this off of nothing. NASCAR branded initiatives. I don't know. What could that be? I mean, I wouldn't mind some Decentraland merch, but if that's the only thing I'm getting out of this, I don't know if it'll be worth it. So my question is, right now, at the current market value, is this worth it? I don't have one yet. I want to get one. The price has come down a little bit, and that could change dramatically. Yeah, if we look here, so it was average price was 2269, then goes up to 35, and then 2901. So I really don't know because yeah, right now, and 8 dash brings up a good point. Right now we're double mint price. And it is Hawkred. It is 100% speculative, 100% speculative, and is $1,100 right now with the price of ETH. Is that worth this potential? I don't know. It could be worth so much more in the future. It could be worth nothing. But the vagueness around this has me concerned in a way, like because this isn't something that involves discoverability, or doesn't need to involve discoverability. Um, it's it's a very gray area. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the Z Pass. I'm still looking to buy. I know races have been tough today. I'm still very bullish on Z. I just wish some aspects of communication would be improved around certain things that are not directly tied to horse discoverability. The other big update I wanted to talk about was stamina and that recent update. Dorklove Sports says tournaments make sense for events, initiative skins into Decentraland merch, mint ticket to guarantee presale for future Genesis drop. Ooh, I didn't think about a ticket. That could be nice. That could be nice. Ooh, hold on. Side note, we are at 68 viewers. We are one away from 69. Everyone get your nices ready on the keyboard if we happen to hit 69. Some really good comments here in chat I want to hit on before we switch over to stamina. Zedrun Podcast says they can't make a pass that only 1,100 people can use. That is mind-blowingly awesome. It would exclude too many people, so I think completely speculatively that it won't be insane giveaways. I don't know, because this is the first one. I think once we get to like whatever Series 2 or 3, if that even happens, what that looks like it could be pretty cool. And that could drive up the price of those so much more. Is the season series pass going to run out at some point? Is it going to be good for 6 months, a year, 3 years? There's a lot of things to think about. A lot of things. We hit it. We hit it. I'm getting all of the nices in chat. Did we hit it? I have not updated yet on mine. But that is awesome if we have hit it. That makes me so happy. I love all of the nices. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nice, 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 nice. Beamy, well done. Um, so yeah, let's free tickets to a NASCAR event could be pretty sweet. That could be pretty sweet. Um, so yeah, there's a lot to think about around this and what this could utility this could bring, what this could look like. I'm excited for it. I just wish the communication was just a little bit more. Um, so I'm having a hard time valuing it right now for myself. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is stamina. So stamina update is live. So a few changes, even from the most recent updates. So 99% of racehorses to run 5 to 10 races before performance is affected by stamina depletion. During those 5 to 10 races, a racehorse is able to perform to its full potential, but it will lose stamina. So that's a really big kind of change. And this is a place where I think the communication has been good because they're being very upfront with this. When in the past Zed has taken the stance of I want to be more selective with discoverability, they've been very open with this, which I think is a huge, like, big plus. Um, and so that's going to change the way I think that you need to think about stamina because before, and I don't know if this is any different than it was before, but I think about it as okay, race 1 is done, I'm down to 96. Race 2, I'm down to 93. Okay, well, I'm going to only run at 96 or 93% of my potential. Now it sounds like from 90 to 100, I'm going to be running at 100% potential. Point of difference comes down to the unique stamina variable it possesses. So each racehorse has a different stamina S curve to it. And then to fully recover to 100%, a racehorse must wait 12 hours from the completion of its previous race. So that's going to be awesome. You know, if you have a job, you wake up, race a few times, go to work, later that night you could probably race. Or, you know, you race once a day, you race at night after work, later in the evening after dinner. By the next day you race, you should be at 100%, which will add to so much more um, racing, so much more usage within the platform, which is awesome. Ugh. All right, so here's for those of you that don't know what the stamina kind of curves look like. Here you have two examples of two different horses and how their curves could be different. However, after the first 5 to 10 races, that will get you to 89, 90% stamina. That's where you start to see this S curve take shape and come into effect. Um, yes. So, Herbie Herb, explain that a little more. In theory, you can go 15 to 20 races a day with 100%. Um, and then the other big thing to note is that a racehorse showing less than 80% of stamina will not lose any class points. This is to stop stamina from being a tool for sandbagging. I'm not totally opposed to this. I think that's fine. The you know, we didn't have stamina was brought in before and people were still downclassing fine before. Yes, it may decrease the pool of horses that can sandbag super fast, but it's still an option if that's something you choose to do. Scrolling down, so in addition to this, they've now added these bars going over stamina and what it all entails. So some of you, myself included, may have used the Know Your Horses plugin. Now they have a more official layout for stamina. And before we go into this, I just want to circle back to Herbie Herb. So essentially, if I race between 8 and 10 a.m. and get all 7 or whatever races in before 90, in 12 hour I'll get to the stamina back. So at 8 p.m. I could race. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Totally see what you're saying there. Yeah, you could get 15 to 20 races in a day if you time it right. Absolutely, absolutely. Naruto boys love bars. Yep, totally get it. Yep, and that's okay. So Genomio, if I'm saying that correct. Yeah, 15, you can be in the 90% range and still race at your top speed, your max speed, so you don't have to worry about performance. And that's further outlined here. So you now have it's called Fresh to Death. The racehorse will peak while in fresh. The stamina bar moves downwards but remains white while in this range. 89 to 80%. Your racehorse maximum potential speed is reduced but remains strong. The stamina bar changes to light blue. Tired, 79 to 30. The racehorse's maximum potential speed is reduced. Considered resting. The stamina bar changes back to dark blue. Note, no class points will be lost if racehorses run below 80% stamina. Prokaryote, it's the last race. It's from the last race. It is from the last race. So, and then exhausted is 29 to 0. The maximum potential is severely reduced. Wait to recover. The stamina bar changes to red. So here's something that, and maybe chat, you could help clarify this for me. Here's something I don't get from the stamina update. So we've got maximum speed at fresh. Okay? Great. Full strength, max performance. Fantastic. Active, going strong, keep racing. So I'm thinking just off the top of my head, I did not get into any races today, unfortunately, that I'd maybe race competitively until like mid-low 80s. And then once I get down to 70 or below, I don't think I would race again. One, if I'm not going to be at my top performance and I'm trying to race competitively, and two, I'm not going to lose class points. So I don't think there's an incentive to really race much in the tired tier or stage. And there's, in my opinion, there's absolutely no reason to race in exhausted. Unless that S-curve is so drastic that you go from tired to exhausted within a race or two. I don't see the point. And it just seems like it's there more for show than anything. And Vincent brings up a good point. If you can time it right, you can get 15 to 20 races a day at your full potential. Like that, without losing any performance at all, that alone might be worth it. And then so they outline some colors, and then they show the different bar, which is nice. Like this, I think, is a big communication improvement. Here's your 190, 89 to 80, 79 to 30, and so the darker it gets, the worse off you are. The Beamy says, wait till someone comes up with the exhaust attorney. I love it. I love it. I love it. IS Bomber 1, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I love the idea of an exhaust attorney. Absolutely. Good evening to you, IS Bomber. There should be races where you can only enter tired and exhausted. Yeah, maybe that will be a thing. Maybe there will be like the best of the worst. Of like, throw in your tired donkeys, battle it out, who's going to win? You have to be in the 29 to 0 exhausted zone the whole time. Yeah. Top Run says you could create a U shape. You could that way, but there's no benefit to that. So like to me, the benefit of the U comes from losing class points, and that isn't there with that U. It would be. I think you've created a new term, and that's a cosmetic U. I refer to U shapes as like a natural U shape, a synthetic U shape where you have you don't have like a lot of variance, I guess, necessarily at a distance. So maybe you finish like 1st through 6th a lot, another one you finish 6th through 12th a lot, and then you combine both those distances together and you create a synthetic U. With what Top Run is saying, I think this would be like a cosmetic U. I think we just came up with something new, Top Run. Nice job. Yeah, and that could trick potential buyers. So what we're talking about buying later tonight in a minute here, definitely something to consider. Huge friend of the show. I mean, all of you are friends of the show, let's be honest. But Darkside Supercoats, who has done many donations, is in the building. Everyone welcome Darkside and Golden Glow Master, my co-host on Inside Zed, along with Zed Insight. Golden Glow, absolute legend. We stream Sunday nights. Absolute legend. So that's kind of my thoughts on stamina. And then so here's kind of an example of what this looks like. So here's my stable. And you can see, we'll click into, oh, you mouse over, it says fresh, 100% ready to race. Excuse me, I didn't notice that before. That's kind of nice. Glen Hope Stables, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Um, that's kind of nice. And then so here you've got 100%. So I love that they're showing a percent now. I love that they're showing a bar with it. I love when you mouse over it, you see the information. Like, this is huge. I love this. Great, great update, Zed. Great updates. Really, really appreciate this. Unfortunately, all my horses at 100% because I am. Ooh, you're out of stud. Um, because I have not been able to get any races today. Um, Thank you, Mystic Hero. Appreciate the love. Appreciate that a lot. Um, yeah. Oh, okay. So let's see. You also have the stamina overlay with the color bar selecting races. Let's take a look at this, just to see what this looks like. I'm just gonna click on the first one. I'll try and get in. Boom, fresh, boom, stamina, 100%. And this, I don't know if this is from Know Your Horses or not, but um, I love it. I love it. I love it. So pretty excited about the stamina update. Once races get to a better spot, I think would be awesome. Even better. Race 15, 20 times a day. Like, that's going to be huge. Probably even a little more if you wanted to kind of squeeze that in, especially on the tail end. That second round of 12 you go in. I mean, that would throw things off in the future, but kind of cool. So that's a lot of fun. That is really neat. So now I want to transition to the main. I am on a gigabit fiber connection, Herbie Herb. They might have fixed it though, because it was going really slow for me earlier tonight. Um, so we can get into some horse evals, into some races later, but I wanted to kind of switch gears now, talk about something else with you guys, which I think and I hope will bring a lot of value to you all, and that's buying. The market right now seems to heavily be a buyer's market. The prices are super cheap, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about buying horses. Um, so I want to start off by telling you the story of a horse that I got, and man, do I need to zoom in. Murder Weapon. So that was the horse that was featured in the beginning. It is currently a Class 4, maybe even Class 3, 24% winner. And this was a horse that I found on Haku, and I'll walk through my process a little bit later. I zoomed in way too much there. Way too much. 133 maybe. Glenn Hope says, will the increased ability to join more races mean races are harder to get into following stamina update? Glenn Hope, it could be part of it, but it could also be just like the, for lack of a better word, the servers or the ability to get into a race period. It may be harder to get in races. That I think that's a very, very valid point. All right, I think 125 is my zoom. I got a little too excited with the zoom button there. Sorry about that. Man, what is going on with me right now? We're just going to reload this, and I'll show you what Murder Weapon was at. So I bought this horse when it only had 6 races total under its belt. 6 paid races. Let's see if we can get one more. Yeah, that's at 125. There we go. We're zooming better now. We are zooming better now. Nice. Okay, we'll do that. We're good there. All right. So if we go to Murder Weapon, and for those of you that aren't familiar, this is my website, mjinformatics.com. If you are newer, we are on the Zetalytics tab up here. Z file. We won't be going over as much tonight, but the resource I highly recommend checking out. It's basically a giant feed of a lot, not all yet, of Zedrun podcasts, YouTube, blog posts, highly, highly recommend checking it out if you want to learn about Zed. It refreshes every few hours, so you're constantly getting a new stream and feed of information. So when I bought Murder Weapon, and I will kind of go back in time here using just this slider. Um, Coliseum asks if payouts are down. Not sure about that. FPS Leo, thank you. You're too kind. Best tool on Zed. Um, so when I bought Murder Weapon, what I was looking at was this is a 1400, 1200, and 1000. It only raced at 3 distances. But what I saw was a lot of fire, some profitability, and a really high win in first through third rate. I then kind of scrolled down to check out the speed performance at 1400, where it is performing its best. And again, for those of you that are maybe new, the white triangles represent the class and race type being free versus paid, that the horse has run in. So this was class 4 paid. And then the red triangles represent each race that your horse has run in. So I thought this horse looks awesome. I'm loving it at 1400. The red is so much farther out than the white. I'm seeing a lot of potential here. And the other thing that kind of stood out to me that I thought was interesting was this 1200. So 1200 is in front of the white, which is usually indicative of a great performance. When I look up at the 1200 performance, I see that was one race and it got third place. Third place at this speed, this far ahead in Class 5, and not getting first seemed tough. So this was kind of an outlier identified when looking at this horse. And the way I took kind of steps to analyze this was to mouse over the race itself. And you can see here that when you do that, you will get the race type, the distance, so free versus paid, the distance, the race ID, and that's the important part here. The maximum class, so that's really just the class that it was raced in, and then the average speed. Now I know that's a lot faster, but why didn't I win? What's going on? Well, I then took this race ID, I plugged it into the races at Know Your Horses, I found the race where my horse got third and Flames, and I saw the 2 horses in front of it were called Malort and Pinky's Legend. So then I went back to my tool. What up, Black Diamond Tad? How you doing? Paxan still the legend. Absolutely, absolutely. And then I said, okay, let's take a look at Pinky's Legend. And that was a 1,200-meter race. Just 1 second while this refreshes. And I'll kind of pop over here. Well, make that one refresh now too so we don't have to wait. And so when looking at, Pinky's Legend at 1,200. Local Boy says, could that race ID be linked? Possibly. That's something I'd have to look into. That's a good point, Local Boy. Awesome. Glad you're here too, Black Time and Ted. Glad you are here too. So now I want to look at that 1,200 race, and I want to try and find that one performance. So I click on 1,200. I isolate this distance down below, and I see, okay, one, this horse seems to be doing pretty well. It's a 10% winner at 1,200. But 2, sure enough, its fastest race ever so far at 1,200 matches the exact same race ID is the one that my horse ran in. The second horse, being Malort, looking at 1,200, and sure enough, there's one race that sticks out really, really far, and it happens to be the exact same race ID. So I take that into account, and I say, okay, MJ, those are kind of fluke races for those horses. My horse performed pretty strongly. I think it could also perform at 1,200. Before I continue on to the next part of this, Strawny90 says, MJ, The race noise, does your site calculate it in already? Yes, it does. So I won't say it's completely noiseless. I don't necessarily believe that to be true. But basically, some races in Zed are raced faster as a race, not necessarily horses, and some are raced slower. And what I did was basically took the average of Zed, I realigned those faster and those slower races to that average, and then recalculated the speeds for that so it's a truer depiction. And as a result, what you're going to see is the red arrows, triangles down here are more aligned with the actual finish place of the horse itself. Again, not 100%, but close. So yes, Stronny, it is normalized. Um, I do not have the horse named Malort. I do not want a horse named Malort. Nothing against the horse. It looks like a fine horse. I just not want a horse that's named that. I do not enjoy drinking Malort. Farrat, what is up? Legend since the beginning is in the stream tonight. So I ended up moving forward with purchasing more murder weapon at 0.16, I believe. And since then, looking at paid races alone, I've now run 34 races. I have 0.05 ETH profit, a 26.5% win rate, 47% first through third, 14% fourth through eight, which I love because those of you that have watched me on stream before know that I hate fourth through eight position, and then 38% 9 through 12. Spoon in a bowl. I have no words for you, loving Malort. Doing all right. Glad to hear you're doing well. So, um, the horse has panned out. It's done very well for me. It is still maintaining great performance, still at 100% fire at these distances. If you notice, there's a spot here at 22 that is completely flat. Here's its kind of finished distributions, performing very well. Recently won a $10 race, which is huge. 2200 does not have fire because I'm using that to down class, and the horse is getting negative 3.43 class points out of negative 4 per race. And that's with 7 races, so I couldn't be happier with that. So, that being said, wanted to then kind of take the same kind of logic, that I used with Murder Weapon and apply this to kind of walk you all through step by step what a strategy could be for buying a horse. Not necessarily the strategy or the best strategy, but a strategy. All right. Okay, we are good. All right. So, the site I use to buy a horse is Haku. And we'll blow this up a bit. My strategy for buying, kind of my main recommendation for buying, is that always start with the filters. Don't necessarily just start scrolling because you're gonna end up window shopping, find something that you can't afford, and it's going to be painful. So I like to start. The first filter I start with here is the price in ETH. So just for the sake of the example, what was the Z Pass going for? 0.32. So we'll do like 0.16, so about $500, which is about what I got Murder Weapon for. So then the next thing I want to look for is I'm going to start, and this is not pre-done. I have no idea what the results are going to be. So we are literally going through this live, step by step. This is, I'd say, my main process for buying a horse. J-Man says, I recommend the buy J-Man's horse strategy. Oh, I'm not too familiar with that. Maybe we could go over that. No. I like it, J-Man. I like it. For fire, what I'm going to put in here is 65%. What I found from a performance standpoint, yes, I know fire and performance are not totally linked. There are definitely outlier horses. That is a thing. but I want to try and build as strong of a case. When I talk about my tools analytics, I talk about different pieces of the puzzle and how those all fit together. I want to try and start with as many pieces of the puzzle already in place and then selectively remove them. So kind of the strategy of using all the different columns in Zetalytics, we're going the opposite route in Haku. Yes, and obviously not financial advice. So starting fire at 65% minimum and then win rate at 12%. And this is looking for race horses, not necessarily horses for breeding purposes. Now, the other big thing to consider is number of races. I would set the minimum at 10 for a few reasons. One, there are a lot of horses that are priced very attractively that have, 1, 3 races. And using the filters that we have, it's not necessarily great. Now, if you have minimum 10 races with the 12% win rate, you're going to have more than one win in there. So that's, to me, is a pretty good start. Like, I want to try and start off as constrictive as possible and then work my way out. I'm not terribly concerned with rating or average class at this point, average fee, though that could really kind of separate having a good horse from an absolute monster horse. But not a lot of people, when it's a younger horse, will run effectively, especially at those longer distances. Excuse me. And I'm really going to leave everything else out of here. So once I kind of have this in place, I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and 2 horses came up. I've done this. What up, OG Evergreen? How you doing? I've done this, and I've had 20 horses come up. I've had no horses come up. It really depends on the market. So I just want to check one filter quick. Jacob J12 says, my new horse I won, Finajack Fuego, got flames in both 16 and 2600. Let's go. That is awesome. So now I've got these 2 horses here. I've got Single Action, and I've got Holy Smokes 0911. Thank you for the follow. And I've got Rowie and Bix. So what I'm going to look for now, Tsunami, how you doing? Is a few things on the screen. So I'm going to look, and I'm glad there are 2 because this will make the comparison a lot easier. Big Chiefs, what is up? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So the 2 things I'm going to look for and really consider here are, not 2 things, sorry. We'll call it 3 areas that I look at. So the first one being this top line here. So Z14, Finny, Legendary, and Colt. All of those pieces. So Z14 versus Z18. Okay, in theory, on paper, that's better. Finny versus Buterin, on paper, that's better. Legendary, wash. Colt versus mare. Now, depending on your view and your stance on things, the mare, you get to keep the offspring, and there's usually a premium right now on females. The colt, you could potentially put into the stud farm. Now, if you have a super elite racer that's not a Genesis, the odds of it being picked up in stud are greater. I feel that Genesis still has like a kind of a premium in stud as far as being able to attract studs. And then after that, I'm going to look at this area right below it. So the fire percent, and compare those. So 72 versus 66, not too far off. Win rate, 18 versus 25. And then this last one with the flag is the number of races. Now, keep in mind, and this is cut off because I'm so zoomed in, but this also has 1 free race. So this has a total of 12, 11 paid, 11 free. So right now, this Z18 has a better win rate, similar fire, and a cheaper price. So if I'm not super concerned with the blood of Finny versus Buterin or the Z number, this may be more attractive to me. So the next thing that I would do is I would click into both of these horses. So if we look at Single Action, let's take like a deeper dive into where it's performing. Average, class 9, win rate. Okay, so the big thing that I want to see now on this page, or like where I'm going, is this bottom. It's the individual races themselves. I want to see those split out. So, okay, I'm seeing, yes, there is consistency in fire, 22, 26, 22, 18. Okay, so it's running at further distances. Its Griffey was in 1200 meters, 1600 meters didn't get. So this seems to be like a distance runner. So I'm scrolling to the bottom. I'm trying to just infer, where's this horse running? Is it run well by the current owner, or is it not? Super high level, super high level. Then take a look at Rowie and Bix and kind of go down here and say, okay, 18. Ooh, here's an 18 without flames. Here's another 18 without flames. Here's one with. Here's one without. A bunch with. Darthside with the 10. Thank you, Darthside. So, so, so generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Again, huge fan of the stream. And does an awesome job with his Van Gogh collection of AI generated artwork off of a input, which is super cool. I own two. I love them. And also has a really cool stable in Zed with a lot of slate gray and Star Wars theme going on. Absolutely young Stinger, for sure, for sure. We will go back to the filters. Foosball game is over. Welcome, Evan. So here's something, and this is why I look at the screen next, because with the other horse, there was consistency, at those distances. Here, I can very quickly visualize and say, okay, 1800, yeah, it's getting flames there, not super consistently, but I noticed it also got flames at 2000 at $5. So maybe 18 is kind of the beginning. Maybe it's really a 2022-24 racer. So, yes, Local Boy, thank you so much. It's minimum 65%. First, set your budget. What is the max you're willing to spend on a horse? Then minimum 65% flame. Win rate 12%, races 10. So now I'm going to go back over to Zetalytics. And I'm going to plug in, and I think this was the best zoomed one, single action. Oh, we have to do a quick refresh. No big deal. And what this is going to tell me then, this is going to give you a much clearer picture of each horse's performance. So start with single action. No worries, Local Boy, you're good, you're good. All right, so single action. So, okay, I'm seeing 4 races, 2,200, 100% fire, average fee of 0.01, so that's a $2.50 entry. Profitable, so 3x, its average fee, awesome. 25% win, 50% first through third. It's only 4 races, though. So what we're seeing here in both cases with these horses are super, super young horses. So how do we build the case to potentially consider purchasing? Well, I see here that it has average points of 1 off of this, which is great. So 50% first through third, 25% 4 through 8, 25% 9 through 12. Horses performing well in class 5. And I also see there seems to be a down button, potentially, it's only one race, at 2000. That could change. When I look down here, it's not too far away from the white, but it's definitely behind it. And again, looking at flames by class, 2000. Okay, it looks like that race occurred maybe in class 4, and sure enough, it did. So maybe it's better 2000 class 5. I can see there might be a bit of a ceiling coming in at this horse. I would guess it would hit flames around 100% at class 5. CLP just got a NASCAR Z Pass. Congratulations. Okay, so then coming back up here, I'm going to look at the speed. So here's where it's running, and here's how it is versus Z. If you can get in the 0.2 and higher, 0.3, 0.4, the higher the better. Bare minimum, I would say, for a young horse would be 0.2. Yep, get me quickly. Absolutely. We're trying to figure out kind of the ceiling of where that horse is going to be. And we can see here it has a pretty tight standard deviation. So, okay, I'm seeing some potential here at class 2 paid. Now, if we then switch over to Rowie and Bix, and as that loads up, So we've got a much larger sample size at a singular distance. So we have 9 races paid. So this has been in Class 5 and Class 4. And because really the only thing here is really at 1800, I'm going to click into 1800. And what that's going to do is that's going to blow up this chart down here. And so I can see now that at Class 5, and get me quickly, this is going to really kind of hit on your point. At Class 5 paid, there have only been 2 races slower, and the rest have been faster. However, when you jump up to Class 4 paid, now the majority of races are behind. And we can see the average fee is 0.01, so that's about a $2.50 average. So to me, this says that this horse, and its speed versus Z is 0.12. This horse can only race at Class 5, and even at Class 5, it's not pulling 100% flame. When you go to this distance at Class 4, there really isn't anything there. And I'm willing to bet, let's see, where if you mouse over these, you can see here's a Class 4 race. 2 Class 4 races so far out of the 9, and they've all been losses. So, eyeballing this, looking at this, not financial advice, I see more value in single action at 0.15. And if we go back to the original Haku page, so it's 0.008 more, so it's not tremendously more. It has a higher fire rate. It's technically a lower win rate, but I'm okay with that for right now when you factor in like the distances that were involved with this. And I really think Rowie and Bick's win rate would go down over time, and it's racing at a faster speed right now. Again, not over as many races, but I see more potential with single action. Just my 2 cents. Now, let's say you put in these filters, and you don't see any horses, or you don't see any horses you like. Taking that next step, again, this is if my budget was 0.15. Taking that next step, what I'm going to do, and by all means, add in the filter for male or female if there's a specific type of horse you're looking for. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop now the average fire from 65 to 60 and see what that opens up. Okay, no change. Not a problem. I'm going to drop that down now to 50. Again, fire is not always indicative of success, but when I see fire across classes at a single distance or multiple distances, I usually find that to be a good indicator of a strong horse. It is not advice to buy. We could identify a stronger potential horse after this. So now we've opened up the field a bit. So now we have some cheaper horses that have entered in the mix. So all we did was we dropped the fire rate from 65 to 50. One sec. Something just happened in my apartment. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry about that. That was weird. So now some new kind of interesting things come into the equation. One, coat color. Now we have a rare coat involved. Scroll down. Okay, it's the only rare coat. So is that something that matters to me or not? Now we have Finnies, we have Zabos, and we have Buterins involved. So we already have the price set. We know we're going to be within our budget. So the thing I like to do here is now sort by win rate, high to low. And what up, D'Artagnan? Naruto Racing in the house. How you doing? Sherry Berry. A horse does not get stronger over time, but a horse can be raced better by the jockey. So if a horse is raced at a wrong distance preference, or raced in too high of a class or too high of an entry fee, it can reflect poorly on the horse when really the horse can run a lot better. Case being of Murder Weapon, of Blue Wings, my other horse. I've done this with a handful of horses now. And it's one of my favorite things about Zed. Wow, Vincent just got in a NASCAR race, $15. Good luck. Thank you, D'Artagnan. Love it, love it, love it. Appreciate it. Happy to have you here. Big fan of Naruto Racing. Go check them out. Give them a follow on Twitch. and follow them on Twitter as well. Giving away horses, high energy stream. They use Zetalytics extremely well. Really, really great guys. I spent a lot of time talking to them. So now I've reduced fire from 65 down to 50, and it completely changes everything. So if we sort by win rate, we see okay, Rowie and Bix. We already looked at this horse. It was fine. It was okay, but nothing like really jumped out at me. This I see is a 19 Buterin Cross filly. I don't know if I want to do crosses. So if you see that and you're like, kind of turned off by that, go ahead and you just click I started Genesis just because you never know what's going to pop up, and then just hold down Shift and click. And I cut mine off at Elite, just because if you breed Elite with the Genesis, if it's a female to I think a male Genesis, you can maintain that breed type. Um, I believe races are going, owner of noobs. And so now, so we've eliminated the crosses. And if we look here, man, okay, so there's a Zabo in here, a Z14 Zabo exclusive. And here we, Rowan Bix, single action, he or him, coming in at 0.148, 50% fire rate, 16% win, so it's not too far off, over 18 races instead of 11. So you've got to consider that. What is the percent of win versus the number of races? So this might be a horse that could be kind of interesting. 18 races, here's 14 at 14, 13 15, 13 15, 12 24. Um, so looking at this, like he or him kind of stands out to me. It's a 14, which is pretty low, and I like to compare the field. So there's an 11, there's a 13, then there's a 14. So that's the third lowest genotype. It's a Zabo, which is the best blood. Exclusive, which isn't necessarily the best breed, but there are definitely some good exclusives out there. And Lucky Jack, what's going on, man? Happy to have you here. Lucky Jack, absolute legend, one of the most generous people in all of Zed. He's donated horses to the stream so many times, big part of Pony Plug, and has some of the best names, in my opinion, in all of the game. And also a lot of horses. So let's go ahead and check out here him. We're going to go through the same process. So click in, scroll down, and the first thing that jumps out is like, wow, look at all of these, top. I mean, yes, it goes into 7th and 8th, but a lot of these finishes towards the left. We'll scroll down. We're gonna check this out here. So we're getting flames at 1,000, 26, 18. So we didn't get it at 24, but why is that? $10 entry fee. Competition could have been too high. 22, 22. Okay, here's 22 without at 250. 22 with. Okay, so when you have more races like this, it gets a little murkier. It looks like it had a string of good performance here at 2,000. See it at 2,000 again. So let's go ahead and plug him into Zetalytics. And okay, so this is interesting. So we have an even split on paid races between 2,000 and 2,200. Both are at 6. So let's kind of start there. Let's go across. Fire percent is a little better at 2,000. Average fee is pretty consistent except for 2,400. So that could be skewing our performance a little bit. Profitable at both these distance break even here. 33% win, 50% first through third. Wow. Like that is pretty exciting. What I don't love here is 50% 4 through 8, but no 9 through 12. And then if you go down here, 16% win, 50% first through third, 33% 4 through 8, and some 9 through 12. So you won't class up if these distributions hold as fast as you would at 2,000. Then it really comes down to profit because both of these have the same amount of races, same amount of first through third, but you're finishing first more often. Here, profit is slightly higher, so I would give a little bit of a lean to 2,000. And sure enough, if we look at this, so in 2,000, it's only raced Class 4 paid, and all of its races have been above. You've got some that are close, but all of them are above the average, which is huge. However, if you look at 2,200, Class 5 paid, it's got that same, all of the red triangles are above, but when you get to Class 4 paid, there's one that's now behind. So definitely something to consider when looking at, hey, what class can this horse run in? I see now, okay, it's 100% fire, 22 and 26, but then that drops down to 40 at 22. That concerns me. In this 26, 100% fire goes to nothing in Class 3. So, one, I'm concerned that there's some Class 3 races here. Um, yeah, I made it all the way up to Class 3 paid. I don't love that about this horse. Does it have a clear down button? And no, it doesn't. Not at this time, at least. It still needs more distances. I would recommend maybe looking at shorter distances for this horse for a potential down button. But this is kind of scary to me. You know, the Z14 Zabo was tempting, but I really feel that for a so look at the values 0.148. If you look at single action at 0.15, again, there's no it's the same. It's more expensive than Rowie and Bix. My favorite of this grouping in this particular subset currently would still be single action at this point because it seems to be a more consistent performer. So that's kind of how I look at and evaluate horses for purchase. Again, for those of you that may have just jumped in, the filters that I look at or start with, the first thing I'm going to start with is always the budget. What is my max budget? So we are looking at a budget of 0.16, about $500. Then I'm going to look at fire. I'm going to set that at 65%. Win rate, I'm going to set at 12. Then if I'm not seeing what I like, I'm not seeing the performance that I'm looking for, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down the fire percent while still keeping that win rate high. And then um, I'm going to drop down if I'm seeing crosses and pacers and that's not something I'm interested in purchasing. I then shift click to select the breeds that I would be interested in. And then another consideration would be to drop this. Maybe I drop this to 10. I'm curious to see if we bump that up back up to 65, but the win rate to 10. So some more horses come in. You have Blue Eyed Lady, and Joey is a mush. So there's a Z14 Finney exclusive filly, and then a Z19 Legendary Buterin Colt, 0.15, 0.16. Blue Eyed Lady, 11% winner at 27 races. Not bad with a 70% flame rate. Something maybe would be I would consider. Again, I would check it out. Same process. Same process. Scroll down. Whoa! Look at all of this fire. Um, okay, so not much here at the shorter distances. So, like, yeah, why isn't there fire here? Um, because these are all shorter distances. So this to me is a sign of a smart owner. Because they're switching now. They're going from, okay, this isn't working. I've tried this a few times. Not working. 10s. I've tried some 12s. Let me just go the other side of the spectrum, which I think is a very smart move, going into the 2000s. And look at all the flames now coming out. Almost all the 1800. Not a super long distance, more of a mid distance, no flames. This horse seems a little intriguing, so let's plug Blue Eyed Lady in. And nice, Bojack. Um, but didn't have the ETH. Oh no, owner of noobs. So the other kind of bonus again of Blue Eyed Lady is its absolute zero, which is a rare coat. So at 0.15, you're getting a rare coat with some performance. We're going to dive into that performance now. This might even be a better value than because it's the same price as single action. So and it's a filly instead of a colt. So again, if those are your needs, if you are looking for a female horse, huge, awesome. This could fit your bill. Let's take a deep dive on Blue Eyed Lady right now. Um, so let's see here. Zed just started working normally for me, just an FYI if anyone's looking at racing. Thank you, local boy. All right, so now at 2200 we see 10 races. Awesome. Races per day. It's taking So the other thing to consider when doing these evaluations is the owner taking fatigue into effect? It's going to be different now that things have changed, but in the top right here you can see races per day, so it's races over a 24-hour period at 2.444. Um, Definitely taking fatigue into account. Again, a very smart stable. Who owns this horse? I want to like meet them and give them a high five or something. I'm very proud of them. High entropy. If you ever watch this, you are killing it. Very nice job. If anyone knows high entropy, reach out, congratulate them. They're running this horse well. So let's go across then. Let's look at 2200. Okay, yep, it's profitable. Awesome. 30% win rate, 40% first through third. Now, what's really cool about this is that most of these first through thirds have been wins. 40% 4 through 8, not too bad. 20% 9 through 12, pretty cool. Now, what I love seeing here is all of, so we've got at least one distance where we have some success. But look at all these other distances. They don't have many races. The most raced one is 1,000 at 5. And again, we're going opposite side of the spectrum. Negative 1.8 class points per race paid. So for every one race at 2200, where you're 40% of the chance going to get first through third, you're 60% of the chance at 1,000 to lose class points and lose more class points than you make. So what that tells me, if this distribution holds up over time, that this horse will be able to maintain its class very well. Even without necessarily, sandbagging, because again, this is averaging 2.44 races per day, taking that fatigue into account. How were they maintaining class? It doesn't look like they were taking advantage of fatigue. So that's an extra bonus point for this horse. So if we look at 22 and we can see, let's dive in because that looks pretty well clustered in ahead, which again can be a good sign. So if we look at class 5 um, paid, only 2 races behind. Another 3 races come in when you go to class 4 paid, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in front as well. So not bad, not bad at all. And what do I love to see here, which is super, super good? We are seeing consistent fire across classes at a singular distance. Huge. And if we look here, we've got a first, a second, 3 firsts, so 4 in top 3, um, 4 here, and 2 losing points. Versus Zed, speed-wise, it's not super fast. And that would make sense because when we looked at that, the class 4 paid was right in the middle of everything. So keep that in mind, but you could definitely keep this, um, I think, in class 5 fairly easily. So if you have the budget, if you're looking for a female, you get a bonus of a rare coat. There's no one size fits all. This is the best horse on the market. Go get it. I mean, unless you have unlimited budget, sure, you could play that game. But you have to be very strategic with your purchases when you are working with a limited budget. So to me, these 4, so that's 10% at 40 races. So that's what, 4 wins? Joey is a mush. Oh no, Haku. We'll exclude Joey is a mush from this. But here would be okay, male versus female, same price, same Z number, same blood, different breed, not the end of the world. Um, in quality performance from both of them. So take your considerations, come up with a strategy, come up with a budget, plug that in, and I think you can find success. Now, will all of these horses that you identify using this method turn out to be class 1 monsters? Absolutely not. Some of these will most likely stay in class 5, class 4, class 3 maybe. Could these horses be fun? Absolutely. Are they guaranteed to be profitable? Absolutely not. It's definitely a gamble, but again, kind of reverse engineering Zetalytics, going backwards and trying to put as many pieces of that puzzle in place and then slowly starting to remove them, I think is a pretty sound strategy for evaluating horses to purchase on Haku. So that kind of wraps up what I was kind of planning on thinking as far as um, purchasing a horse and advice around that. Was curious if there were any horses, any horses, any people in chat, any stable owners that would be interested in a quick horse evaluation. I don't have a lot of time. Oh, okay, Queen Queen Bee hitting it up real fast. Queen Mother, absolutely. I'm gonna try and go in order tonight. And then when I stream later in the week, we'll do a little bit more of a focus on racing. Um, and while we pull this up, I want to kind of go over a trick in searching for names. So Queen, I'm gonna just kind of freeze my chat for a minute. Um, it's Dr. D Red Day. Did I say that right? Nice breakdown. Thank you. Solid for life. Horse analysis is key. Absolutely. Um, all right. Queen Bee says Queen Mother. So I type in Queen. There are a lot of queens here. I don't want to scroll through to find it. The quick way to find it is to use just quotes. Queen Mother, end quotes. Boom. It's gonna pop up right away. You can cut through all the noise that way. So if you see horses with multiple or a very common word in it, it's a very easy way to filter through. So lightly raced for Queen Mother. Oh, and don't go yet. We still have a horse to give away, which will be coming soon. All right, so Queen Mother, Queen Mother, still kind of broken. Sorry about that. Looks like in Zetalytics has 11 paid races. Looks like 14 races overall. So we may be missing a few here. Not the end of the world. Slight delay on the update. So what I'm seeing here is I'm not seeing profit. I'm seeing one race where you got first through third at 2,400. So then when I see that, I'm going to look at other distances around that. So 22, 2000, 26. 2000 and 22 were both single race, but right in the middle. At 2400 though, your speed right now, and this probably won't hold up over time, but was significantly faster. So what I would do is I would use, you've got what, 5 to 10 races per 12-hour period. I would take 2 to 3 of those races. I would try and enter only 2,400. You can see down here, here's class 5 paid, and you are completely in front of that triangle, and it is your biggest separation um, from, the average. I would do 2 to 3 2,400 class 5 paid races, low entry fee, $2.50. See how the horse then performs um, after that. And it looks like you have entered in a 2,400 already. So I love where your head's at. You don't have fire there, but that is okay. But yeah, right now performance is saying that it could completely change. Now, someone asked earlier, do horses get better over time? No. But what happens is when you have such a young horse, you have to try and figure out where it's best raced. And in class 5 especially, in some other classes as well, you may have 2 or 3 distances that end up showing as like, hey, these are close to being okay, or hey, these are good. Which one of these do I pick? And the only way to iron that out is through discovery. So discovery coming from more races at those distances and unfortunately moving up in class. But before you do that, always try and be mindful of that down button where you can lose class points in case you end up going up too high and then can't come back down. Totes McGoats, friend of the show, thank you for the follow. Orglog, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Totes McGoats is part of the Unrecruited podcast. Sean versus All and I were just on episode 50. Go ahead and give Unrecruited Pod a follow on Twitter. Subscribe to the podcast, especially if you live in Scandinavia or Finland, trying to get it to be the #1 podcast in Finland. Just a little goal for myself. So that's what I would do with Queen Mother. Queen Bee, you've already got it in 2,400. Best of luck there. Yes, it doesn't always have to just be first. You can still find, effective performance from podium. Oliver's horse, Tsunami Stable says. Let's check it out. And if I do not get to your horse tonight, please DM me on Twitch, Twitter, um, Discord. Probably not Twitch. I don't get to those as often. I always forget that. My socials are linked there. All right, so looking at Oliver's horse, very well raced. So 121 paid races at least for this horse. I'm seeing class 4. I'm seeing some solid fire, average fee. Okay, so you're racing it there. Wow. Okay, so with a high fee of 0.04, um, you're profitable. You've got a 19% win rate, 36% first through third, the lower percent 4 through 8, which I love, and a lower percent 9 through 12. You're only getting 0.51 class points per race. So that to me is huge. Now, when we compare this to 1,000 meters, still a great first through third and a pretty solid win rate at 15%. But what I don't love here is that you have a 50% 4 through 8. Looking at same thing with 1400, your middle distribution finishes are really, really high. So I would really stay focused at 1200. Just kind of looking through some of these other ones. Yeah, that to me is where the kind of the big strength is. It's not necessarily your fastest, but that's where the performance is currently, and you are profitable there. I love 1200 for Oliver's horse. Um, Only horse has 3 races. You're good. All right, Evan sounds good. Hawkward says me. Hawkward, is that the name of a horse, or do you just want an eval? How many E's are there? 1, 2, 3. I think you hit me up with the name of a horse, Hawkward. Mystery flavor. All right, all right, all right. Mystery flavor coming in from Young Stinger. All right, so mystery flavor, 6 races, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so this is pretty unraced territory down here. You are barely profitable at 2,200. You've got profit off of 1 race, which was a win at 2,000. So what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing 2,000, some potential. It's only 1 race, so there's still a lot to find out about it. But also 2,200. Is there some consistency there? And you're getting fire at 22 and 24. So this looks like it's going to be a distance racer to me. 50% first through third, but no wins yet. 50% 4 through 8. That's a little tough. 33, 33, 33 across the board. So really, I think you just need more races. I would start at 2,000. I would do maybe 2 races there, get that up to the 3. See how the finish distribution compares to these. I'd focus on 2,400 and 2,000, getting those caught up to the 6 races that you have here. Bring those up, starting with 2,000 because you're currently running that faster. Just barely out in front of the triangle right there. You're doing a good job of keeping your average fees low, which I like to see. But yeah, let's look at 2,000 and see how that goes. Fire's kind of all over the place, but that is okay. Next, we have Fallen of Iron Titan. Ooh, I like that name. All right, Fallen of Iron Titan. Again, very, very lightly raced. You're running faster in all of your distances. You've got 1 race here. I mean, I would just go where the performance is. That's 1,000. You've got it also at 1,600, 50-50. I would start at 1,000. 1,200 is not good. I would, yeah, do 2 or 3 races at 1,000, 2 or 3 races at 1,600, and go from there. Still super young. You're going to have to do a lot of experimentation with this horse. Flash Magic. McGinnis Racing, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, please correct me, says, Flash Magic, do I stay at 14 to 1,600? Let's find out. All right. So 11, 7, 1, 1. Okay, so here's an example of what looks like to be you found some success early on and you really started hitting that, which strategy that I've used, I think works well. It's what I've done with Murder Weapon, and you're getting fire and you're getting performance. So 27% win rate, 14% win rate, 54 and 42, 18, 28. So right now, I would say forget 1600. Um, Looking at the pieces of the puzzle, so using that analogy, which I love to use all the time, your fire is a little lower. Okay, not the end of the world. Your average place is better. Your fee is the same. Your profit is higher. Your win rate is higher. Your first through third is higher. Your 4 through 8 is lower, which is huge. Your 9 through 12 is lower. Average points higher, again, not the end of the world because it looks like you have some down buttons here, 24, 18, and you run it faster. I would knock out 1600 for now because the performance, and you have more races there, 11 versus 7. I would stick with 1400 more than 1600. You don't have to completely isolate it. If you just go on a spree of just horrible 1400s, fine, maybe go ahead and switch back, but 1400 over 1600 for sure. Almost double the win rate with more races. Um, Sherry Berry says Little Walter. All right. I just want to do a quick catch up on chat quickly. Um, Orglog says, looking to get into Zedrun for the first time tonight. Welcome to the stream. Any tips for complete first timer? So one, go to Zedrun, go to the guide on Zed. Read through that. Understand genotype, breed, blood, what all of that means. Then set a budget. Do some of your own horse evaluations. Don't worry about losing out on opportunity. Opportunities will continue to come. Do research, read through the guide. I would recommend checking out. I'm going to open this up in a new tab here. Check this out. If you're a new stable owner or you're new thinking of getting into Zed, oh look, the stream is in there already. Check out this. It's a lot of big content creators in the Zed space. San Francisco Tribe, Zed News Network, Unrecruited Podcast, myself, Zed Insights, Poseidon Racing, and it's an infinite scroll, so it just keeps going. Zed DNA, Glue Whisperer has a great beginner series, so I check out these Glue Whisperer episodes. Zed Run itself updates. Definitely check this out. Zed Gazette, HeroCraft, Chateau, Centribus. Definitely check this out if you're looking for resources to get started. And it updates every few hours. So as new content comes in, it'll constantly be refreshing. Let's check out Little Walter. Wow, okay, Little Walter with little races. I'm not seeing anything here that really jumps out at me. So it looks like, too, that these are shorter distances. And they were run very slow. So now I would go to the opposite side of the spectrum. So it looks like you have 7 races overall. 1,000, 12, 12, 12, 1,000, 16. Okay, so I would take Little Walter and I would trot him over to 2,000, 2,200, 2,400, see how he performs there because it's just not being hit right now at those shorter distances. You're seeing some negative speeds. And negative average points. So I'd go the opposite side of the spectrum. Do not give up on Little Walter. Still might have something left in the tank, but check those higher distances, Sherry Berry. Dust in the Wind, please. All one word. So yeah, if you start out, you're struggling in a certain shorter distances, flip the script. Go to the opposite end. Long distance, and if any of those work, try for the middle. I don't know why I like to go middle last. So Dust in the Wind, again, pretty new. Looks like this horse has an overall of 8 races. We've got 4 paid right here. Again, not really seeing win, not really seeing this. So at 14 and 12, again, we're seeing kind of that negative performance. 18 negative. Let's go the opposite side of the spectrum. Have you raced in longer distances? Okay, so you've raced now in a 16 and got flames. In a first place, but that was free. So free races are different than paid races. If you're newer, keep that in mind. Free races are not on chain. Free races, the competition's easier. Free races, the average speed is slower. So keep that in mind. It looks like you got flames but there's nothing wrong with racing free races. at 2,000 meters with a 12th place finish. I would look at 22.24, free if you can, otherwise $2.50, and I would go from there. Next, we have Rose Quartz, double space, could really use some advice. Absolutely, Alpha Bulldog. Stem Cells says I should do Jackpot. Giveaway horse. Awesome. Yeah, we will definitely do that, Stem Cells. And yeah, we still have a giveaway tonight. Pretty excited for that. Okay, so Rose Quartz. I'm seeing some profitability here, but again, 1, 2 races. So 1800. You've got some at longer. So maybe this is a distance horse because look at all these first through thirds. 16, 18, 20, 22. I would go more in those races. You've got some pretty good speeds in there as well. 16, yep. That's where I would look. But again, give it 2, 3 races. Maybe start at 16, 16, 2000 right now. Those are your fastest. Start between one of those. 2, 3 races. See how you perform and go from there. Naruto says double dosed is a god. We'll do just a quick check on double dosed. And then we'll go jackpot for stem cells. All right, so double dosed. Yeah, wow, look at this 2400, 80% win rate, 100% first through third, 5 races. Wow. 0.62 faster. Yep. So this is again, all of the pieces of the puzzle are in place. Great point out, D'Artagnan. Appreciate that. Let's look up jackpot now. This is a previous giveaway. And okay, all right. So I like that you've raced this horse wide, and what that means is you've raced across multiple distances. Again, not many races, but you got 3 races at 1200 that are profitable. 33% win, 33% first through third. So all those have been wins. A little faster than Zed. I see some potential there. And then at 16, 1 win, 1 race, 1 win, paid. That was so flipping fast compared to Zed. Go 3, 4 races at 1600 and see what comes out of it. That is just insanely fast. Yeah, 60.942. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is insane. Jackpot at 1600. Wow, stem cells. Love it. Um, all right, just catching up on chat quick. My donkeys are going to run better in the wet. Hope so, Coliseum. Mash, how you doing? Welcome. Um, excuse me. What is up, Half Black Swan? Um, Summer Hope. Third place in that. Nice job, Vincent. Third place in the $15 race. Paid, cool. Eventually dying. Sorry about that. H-Town Heath. Didn't mean to skip over you. Fast Eddie says first time tuning in. Welcome. Thank you. We'll be giving away a horse very, very soon. Um, so Jacob J12 asked a really good question. Not an evaluation question, but a breeding scenario. What would you say about a horse and stud? Someone breeds with it and then just not manage the horse or offspring properly and has a bad record, negative ROI, etc. Does this make the parent look less appealing to others in the future looking to breed? It absolutely can. And unfortunately, it's something that's out of our control. Is it the end all be all? Not necessarily. It depends on how much of a deep dive that potential buyer wants to take. Um, I think looking at the number of races an offspring has is almost in a way more important than the actual performance of the horse itself. Because if you've got 10 races and no wins, well, okay, how was it raced? Was it raced only at 1200 and it's horrible at 1200? Well, there you go. And I think that's something to consider when evaluate breeding. We're gonna start. We're gonna start the giveaway right now. We'll get through a few more evals. Let's close that up. All right, so this is the horse we are giving away. Just gotta add it quick. So this is a Z22 exclusive Buterin filly. We will have 3 minutes for this giveaway. Hope it goes to a new stable, but if it doesn't, that is okay. Boom. And for the giveaway settings, all you have to do is type in exclamation point horse. Do not do it yet. Starting now, you will have 3 minutes to do it. The clock has begun. No problem. Happy to take a look. Evan 5452 says, how much weigh-in does a Griffin race in terms of a strong starting point? Well, it depends. So if I do a Griffin at 1200 and I have a distance horse, well, the Griffin's not going to mean anything. It could also, you have to consider the competition. Am I racing against Z2, 3, 4, 5? And I'm a Z22, Buterin exclusive versus Nakamoto's and Zabos. Okay, I'm not going to put too much stock in that either because they're going to be starting off in a much higher class than I'm going to be. So I think what's more important than just putting stock in the Griffin is to look at the competition of the Griffin and look at the distance of the Griffin. Now, if you go 1200, you've got some horses with better blood and genotype, um, and you win and you get flames, then that is an awesome start to a Griffin. I wouldn't get too discouraged from bad results from a Griffin, but I love great results from a Griffin. I think would be the best way to go over it. Thank you, Mash, for the compliment. MJ's a god. When he gets sub button, his first stream will be people subscribing. Mash, I don't know if I want a sub button. Stem cells. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's why I don't have the sub button. I have a tip page. You can just donate directly to me. Keeps it just a little cleaner, a little easier. I also like to stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook to try and reach as many people as possible. Speaking of which, if you want to get in on this giveaway, you need to come to twitch.tv/mjstables. You can only enter on Twitch if you are watching this live on another channel. We got a minute left. We have 56 people entered. Great chance to win a awesome horse. So if people are interested, they're by no means do you have to give anything, but if you would like to, I have a donation page, which I think is either donation or tip, and it should pop up. That's where you can. But stem cells and Darkside tonight, thank you guys so much for your donations. Absolutely huge. I really appreciate you both. When you view my horse, never fail. Sorry, Alpha Bulldog. Read wrong spelling of horse. You set that up already. Thanks, Winks. All right, so we got 8 seconds left. 60 people in. Those are great odds to get a horse. Great odds to get a horse. Great odds. All right, we are done. The entries have ended. Good luck, everyone. Can we get some hype in chat? You know the drill. Let's get those emotes in chat. Let's get those emotes in chat. Drumroll, love it. Star Blue, local boy. Let's go. Tasty Poison Fish. Here we go. Rainex, Queen Bee, Dork Loves, Reed, Ryan Temple, Joxers, Joe Crossers, Sherry Berry, Star Blue, Hawkward, Jacob J12. Here we go. And the winner is Holy Smoke 0911. Believe new follower. Holy Smoke, are you in chat? Are you here? Congratulations to Holy Smoke. Let's go. Holy Smoke is here. Holy Smoke, do you have a stable? If so, how many horses? Let me know. You're still going to win the horse no matter what, but let me know. Do you have a stable? Is this your first horse? Holy smoke. Holy smoke. Do you have a horse? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Glad you're so happy. What's your current stable at? Holy smoke. What's your current stable at? Is it new? Is it not new? Congratulations to Holy Smoke. Yes, Ton Tavern. You have one. Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, welcome. Not first horse. That is okay. What I hope to be a great addition. DM me your wallet, preferably on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord. My socials are here. Yeah, DM me your wallet. I will get that horse to you after stream. That is awesome. Whopping 9. Nice. Congratulations. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I hope nothing but the best for you with this horse. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Any ideas on what you're going to name it? Any ideas what you're going to name it? So stem. Oh, and one thing we forgot to do with this is looking at the lineage. So here is the. This is the sire is a Z6 Genesis Finney, unraced, and then the opposite side of the family tree, You Can't Pulley Me is an 18% winner, and both of its parents are 10% and 16% winners. So pretty cool. Hope you get some of that win rate down in your horse. Very, very, very exciting. Um, no clue yet on the name. No clue yet on the name. Well, excited for you to name it. Congratulations again, holy smoke. So happy for you. I've got time for 2 more horse evals. If I don't get it on stream tonight, please shoot me a DM. Socials are here. I'd be more than happy to do it. Otherwise, I will also be streaming Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central, a little earlier than tonight, and I will definitely be doing more horse evals then. Fast Eddie says, Seobar? And then Hawkward says Teal Deer. Oh, Hawkward. Teal Deer. I do not like that horse. I know all about Teal Deer. I do not like that horse at all. If it's the horse I'm thinking of. I think it's the horse I'm thinking of. Shout out to Marvista Ranch. Marvista Ranch. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Alright, so we'll do Seobar and Teal Deer end up on the night. And then a few kind of closing things before we head out. Let's check out Seal Bar. As it loads. Alright, so Seal Bar, boom, I see profit, 17% win, 31% first through third. I see 30. Okay, so this could also be interesting as well. I like 12. 1400 looks like you've got kind of a sprinter here. Not quite a down button, but that's a really interesting finish distribution. Oh, sorry, all of your wins there were first. Never mind. And then it looks like you've got a down button at 26. I would imagine, yeah, 24 also kind of a down button. So I like 12 and 14, and then 24, 26 to help maintain your class. It looks like 12, 16, 14, 16. So yeah, I would think maybe you're looking at class 5, 12, 14, 16. You're 12 now, 7 races, profitable. Boom. Boom, 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 0. But I think that could turn around pretty quick. I like that this is 30% over 15. I think that's where your big bonus is coming from. So 14, 12, try and get in class 5 for Seobar. Next one is Teal Deer. I think this horse, I spelled teal wrong, is one that scares Gold War a lot. I think that's why I don't like it. I could be wrong. Um, yeah, it looks like it's all over the place. So as far as like you've got a lot of in front and a lot of in back right here. So let's take a look up top. Profit at 1800, 15% win, 31%. So you've got so this is interesting. This is really interesting. So you've got similar odds, better fire, but a lower entry fee, which I think would account for the profitability, but you're getting better performance here, and I think that's going to account for the better entry fee. Now, you are technically running slower, but that's okay. I think that's just due to your standard deviation, which is very close to Z, so you have a lot of fast and a lot of slow, which would make sense because you're 36% here and you're 42% here. Very, very close. So you see how all these pieces of like your standard deviation is not too far off from the average. Your speed is pretty average, and so you're just a little slower, and therefore you're a little heavier on the 9 through 12 side than you are in the 1st through 3rd side. But all these numbers are kind of close. See how all those pieces come together for evaluating the horse. So, I mean, you're doing well at 18. You're doing well at 16. Yeah, so like 14, 16, 18. I mean, you've got some great things here. So now kind of to narrow that down a little bit, I see at 1800 you are racing at the highest fee and at the highest class. Um, I think if you drop, you got a few options in my opinion. You could drop your entry fee a little bit, and I think that's going to play out for more favorable finish distributions. Or focus on kind of building out some of these other races. I would look at man. Yeah, I think I would. It's hard because the profitability isn't really there at 14. Let's look at our fire by class. And okay, so 2000 is 100% in 5 and dissipates down. 14 looks pretty strong. 18 goes down. So what I'm seeing here, just eyeballing it, not even looking at the distances themselves. Depending, I love the U shape, by the way. So a little heavier on the tail end, which would make sense with these slower speeds. I'm looking to race this horse class 4. And if you can, so that would then change this. So I like 18, I like 16 class 4. I don't love how heavy this is back here at 2400, but you do have a nice win rate. I like 18, 16 class 4. Try and get at least class 4. Class 5 would be ideal, but obviously a little harder now. That's where I would race this horse. A few things before we go. Yeah, no, it is very confusing from sprints at class 5. Yeah, okay, so if he's in class 5, I would go 1800. Dork with the donation. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Dork Love Sports. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, there's the tip just came up through chat. So yeah, class 5. So here's something interesting we can do. Let's dial this in. So let's adjust the class slider. Because you have 373 races, the more races you have, the better it is. And still okay, 139 at class 5. So now you're going to see a truer picture. If you're in, holy smoke, thank you for the message on Discord. Awesome. Um, Still a great sample size at 139. And average fee, okay, changed. 1600, 20% win, 37% 1st through 3rd, 13% 4 through 8. I love 1600 class 5 if you can keep it there. And if we look at that, 75% flame, awesome. Let's click into it here. Yeah, again, you've got like very close to Z deviations with this horse, which I think makes it even more confusing. I think that's the part that's making this horse confusing. Um, yeah, I like 1600 right now. But again, like if you run 10 races at 1600 and you're like, I'm not doing anything, don't be afraid to switch it up. As a backup, I really love 1400. Um, the reason why I love 1400 over 1800 is this number right here. So you've got similar win rate.
well, okay, better first through third. But the real thing I'm looking at right here is the four through eight, 41% versus 14. Um, yes, these are higher, which isn't necessarily the greatest thing in the world, but you are very profitable at these 16, 14. Start with 16. Um, Absolutely is a confusing horse. HeroCraft says could be competition based as well, 100%. 100%. Though, as you get more races, like if this had 10 races like that, absolutely could be competition. At 45, 42 races, that should start to, that curve of quality of competition should start to even out, I would think. But yeah, I like the horse. Have fun in Class 5 at 1600. Um, Alpha Dog says, can you use the tool on mobile? So it's something in the pipeline pretty far down. But yes, you technically can. I would recommend turning it sideways, though, in landscape mode, clicking through the filter. That's going to work best on mobile. Um, but a more official mobile layout will be coming, but probably not for a while. What up, Ryman? Welcome to the stream. Um, oh, Evan5452. I'm floored. I just jumped into a 2400 race because you got me excited and won. Let's go, Evan. Congratulations. That is awesome. I love that. I love that. I love that. Uh, Zed gets better when we all get better. So, as a community, keep using the tool. Check it out if you're new mjinformatics.com. It is completely free to use. Don't have to register, don't have to sign up. It is just available. You can do everything I did on stream tonight for free. Also check out the resources tab. It's updating every few hours. Latest and greatest from most, not all yet, content creators. So if you need to learn, you're looking to learn, all the resources would be there. And then Z file, which we did not cover tonight, that's kind of under construction, working on some things with that. Um, but that's also, it's a different type of course evaluation tool. But right now, I think the big focus should be on Zelytics. Yes, love the Dork Love Sports. Nice job. Holy smoke, good job. Love it, love it. Love the support in chat. That really makes me happy. All right, everyone. Well, this will conclude things for tonight. Before we sign off, go ahead over to my YouTube. Give me a subscribe if you do not mind. I will be doing some kind of tutorial video series going through. First one will be going through all of the different um, aspects of Zetalytics in depth. Just kind of like a tutorial on that. If you see me go live just on YouTube, I'm probably shooting that video. And so I probably might not get engaged with chat during the beginning, but may do so at the end. Um, and then my next stream will be Thursday night. So if we didn't get to your horse evaluation tonight, I apologize. It is nearing midnight for me right now. I unfortunately have work in the morning, but shoot me a DM. My socials, I'll shoot in chat again. And if not, Thursday night, 7 p.m., similar type of stream. We'll be doing some evaluations, but also talking about more about racing and hopefully doing some chat races. So thank you so much. Really great talk tonight about Zed news, about buying strategies for Zed. If you missed that, go ahead and check out the VOD on Twitch. This will also be on my YouTube channel as well, in full. Um, Pretty close to almost immediately after this is done. Marvista Ranch says, stumbled on this channel, really dig it. We'll definitely be back. Thank you so much. That means the world. Really appreciate it. Bert, cheers to you. Great stream today. Appreciate the way you walk through your processes. Thank you, local boy. D'Artagnan, love it, love it, love it. Ryan Temple, thank you. HeroCraft, I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, HeroCraft, another friend of the show. You're all friends of the show. Have a great night, everyone. Jacob Scott O says, thanks, MJ. Yet another great stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. This has been fantastic. Love you all. Have a great time racing with new and improved stamina. Have a great night. Thank you, thank you. Endale, thank you. Appreciate the love. So much love. Queen Bee, thank you, thank you, thank you. Golden Glow, love it. Hawkward, Hillside Homie, the best namer in Zed. Um, and yeah, I will be heading out. Thank you all so much. Have a great night, morning, afternoon. Appreciate you.